As a mom, you want to be able to protect your kids from everything. And when you're stripped of that, I didn't know how to be without my kids. I still don't.
This is South Dakota. So they had warehouses full of Indian kids, and they're still there today. I mean, Indian kid after Indian kid was taken away from their parents and put up for adoption.
The state can come in and take kids any time of the day, any time of the night. So there'll be more children going to the foster home. That's how it works. That's how abusive these foster homes are.
They took the boys exactly 1 week after Aiden's first birthday. That was the hardest thing. Thinking about them waking up the next morning, not knowing where they're at, crying.
Everything was happening so fast. They took my boys, they took my old lady, they took me. They stun-gunned me that night. I had scars up and down my legs. I was beaten. I was thrown in a cell. And when I got up, my whole life was turned upside down. What was really surprising about that night wasn't so much what I was going through, you know, it was what didn't happen that was supposed to happen. I mean, according to the laws that are in place today. Whereas if a family member is present, they can take the child. Well, there wasn't one, two, there was like 3 or 4 older Native American adults that weren't even a part of the situation we were in, that could have taken the children. The police immediately told them, no, these kids are going to DSS.
When they took my grandsons, I came to see what was going on, and I went to see the 2 boys at the social services with my son. Well, when I told the court that I was the grandmother and I was there to get my grandsons to take them home, they told me I had to adopt my grandsons, and before I could see them, I had to take fostering and adopting classes. I did everything they said. I complied with them. I did their classes. I did the home visits. I got a house. I rented a house. So you know what? They can pull all these little strings, and we are the puppets. And what we do doesn't matter anyway. You know, they could give us a hoop, we'll jump through that, but it doesn't do us any good. No matter what we do, it's never gonna work.
That day in court, they severed our rights, and then I was expected to go and say goodbye. I was told I had an hour to say goodbye to my kids and tell them that you love them and it's not their fault. I have an hour with my kids. And you want me to tell them that I'm sorry.
I just wish they'd give my grandsons back, you know? If there was guns, if there was big drugs, if there was prostitution or all that yucky stuff going on in my son's home, I could see them, you know, taking the children away, but over just some argument and fighting to break up this family?
The goal of social services, of DSS, is not to tear families apart. It's for reunification of families and keeping that family unit whole. So why aren't they doing that here in South Dakota?
If ICWA is being followed, no Native child should be placed with a non-native family. Not that they're bad, but they should be with their own, with their people, to learn their culture, to learn their history of who they came from, hopefully where they're going to, and they should be always around their Tioshpai, their family.
A child believes that his father and mother are the strongest people in the world. Their parents take care of them and, nurture them. That makes them respect them and appreciate them. Whenever they think their parents are the strongest people in the world, and then DSS comes and slaps them aside, and says, you're doing that wrong, or you have to do this, and you either straighten up or I'm going to take these kids away, put you in jail. And all the respect, all the appreciation, it's all gone.
They were giving me these drugs like, Prozac and two other ones I didn't even know the names of, which scared me because I don't even know what I was taking. They just basically said, hey, take this, and if you didn't take it, they would physically restrain me and throw me in my room and not let me out, for an extended period of time until I wanted to take the medication. I don't remember any doctor, sitting down and saying this is what you're taking or anything. They just kind of like conveniently come up to me and say, hey, this is a new court-ordered, medication that you have to take because of such and such whatever, behavioral report or whatever. And they'd be like, this is what you're taking now. And I didn't see a doctor. I didn't have consent. My mom didn't have consent. They basically just said, you take this or you're in trouble.
So when you were taken when you were little, why were you taken away?
I don't know. They told me, what they had told me was that my parents didn't want me anymore, pretty much. Well, that my mom didn't want me anymore and that nobody really cared.
Why did they tell you that?
I don't know.
Did you believe them at the time?
At the time, yeah.
When you were away from your mom, from your family, what did you want more than anything?
Well, to be honest, when I was in placements and stuff like that, I just wanted to die, to be honest.
There are some kids in Mobridge right now that are living in dire straits that are Caucasian. They're left there. You put a Indian or indigenous person, same exact situation. 100% of the time they're gonna get taken and told they're unfit. Push for parental right termination.
I feel like I have to go to the hospitals and give these booklets out to these Indian girls to tell them this is what you need to do if you ever get your kids taken away. Here you have a manual for learning how to breastfeed and all this kind of stuff. Well, here's a manual to get your kids back.
They make money off of our kids. The more Indian kids they have in the system, the more money they get.
Every day I go through this every day. I don't cry every day. I don't get busted up every day, but every day in my heart, I know there's something gone. something that isn't right. You take a man's firstborn son away from him. Firstborn son, my pride. And it's tough to have pride anymore.
Look what they done to that mother, and they done to my son. And I can't even see my grandkids. How do you undo blood? How do you undo that? How can you say those are no longer members of your family? How could they undo that?
There's a saying, our nation is not lost until all of the hearts of its women are on the ground. They may be broken, but they're not on the ground yet. And piece by piece, we're picking them up and putting them back together. Until then, all we can do is hold it close and hold the babies we have close.